welcome back to another episode of Critical Affection, where we affectionately criticize the pop culture that we love. And I am back with Brian, as per the usual, and DM Ray.
Heidi ho.
How do you go? Do you go by DM Ray, or you just go by Ray?
Either or. DM is just short for Dungeon Master. I play a lot of D&D.
I suspected that, but I didn't want to presume. I don't play a lot of D&D, but I do know a lot of nerds.
Oh, you should play with us. It's a lot of fun.
I think, I've never played a full-on, real game before, and I feel I've got a couple of people that want to get me into a game sometime, and I think that it would be a lot of fun for everyone else, and a lot of chaos for me.
Well, that's a good segue. I'll pocket that. We'll talk about that later.
All right.
I have so many dice and not enough to do with them.
I just got my very first set of dice in the mail from you, actually, Brian. That never. I have many just random 6-sided dice everywhere, but I didn't have a full set of dice, and now I do because Brian.
You have a wearable set of dice.
Yeah. Ooh, that one's really cool.
Right, I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, that one's, I know it's very shiny and it looks old, even though obviously it's not, but it's pretty cool. I'll have to remember to bring them next time, because I honestly can't remember where exactly I set them. I know the general area of the mire that is my home, but we won't worry about it. I'll just find them and we can look at them next week. That seems good.
Heck yeah. And also with us is Ray Jameson.
Here I are.
Aaron's here too, saying, "What are we talking about? I'm riding my horse and listening in at the same time." Excellent. I always like to listen to a good podcast while I'm riding my horse. And we're talking about Secret Level today, which I don't think I actually said yet. We're gonna store. I never would have even heard about it if you hadn't said anything about let's do this one for our topic for your show. And I'm really glad that I did find out about it, because it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And
lots of good things to say about it.
Yeah, you don't even have to. My favorite part is you don't have to watch one and then keep tabs on all that information in order to watch the next one. They're all independent stories. 15 self-contained stories. Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, it's a good time.
Kyron says Butler will be ready. It says dinner will be ready in 10 minutes. And when is Science with McAvoy coming to AOG? You know what?
We're actually planning that.
Yeah, we're working on it. I think it's probably going to end up not being a live thing, but it's totally coming. It's totally coming. Unless does your butler want it to be a live thing? Because we could do live stuff. I don't know. But yeah, that's happening. Don't joke about it, because we'll do it. We got that kind of time.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
So anyway, Ray, you came here for a reason, and that reason is I wasn't as ready for this as I wanted to be. There we go. That reason is the Madcaps. So let's talk about it.
Well, where would you like? You know what? Good segue. Why don't you hit play there and go full screen? It's a 50-second trailer.
All right, let's do it.
After Jazgo and myself received a surprise visit from Dunnan and Madrakas, we were able to help the local guards stave off the beginnings of an undead outbreak. I recognise one of the fallen creatures to be an addict to the local drug, Weave. After following a lead, the four of us were able to track down a group of bandits transporting the drug. Fortunately, we were able to control the situation, and Dunnan has a gift with aligning perspectives.
You get to choose which of my friends here you are going to speak to. If not, I'll pick for you.
We had no idea that this was the beginning of a very long night.
Whoa. Now I gotta put us all back.
There we are. So we have, this is issue 1 and 2 currently on Kickstarter, already funded. This is a 3-issue miniseries. The whole story takes place over one night. And as you saw in the trailer, this is about these 4 friends who they're just getting back together after a long time. They're childhood friends at their hometown, and they come across this undead outbreak and joining with the guards and helping to stop that from actually like becoming a full-fledged outbreak. The dwarf of the group, his name is Sarlacc. He's the one who is narrating the trailer. He's inclined to believe it has something to do with a local drug problem. Now, disclaimer, there happens to be drugs in this story, but not only are they fictional, there's no pro or anti-drug message in this. It just happens to be part of the story. But anyways, this rabbit hole they start pursuing and climbing the ladder and supply chain of where this drug originates from by the end of issue 1, they're not sure if this is a coincidence, these are two separate things, or if there's an actual correlation. What is this all about? That main cover there, that was drawn by Kenny Calderon and colored by Dan Kemp. Both of them, they did a really good job with that main cover. Every cover I have, I wanted it to have something to do with the issue that you're about to read. So in this case, you can see all 4 of them. They're actually going into a territory with, you can see a lot of overgrowth. So it's a path not used too often, but it's actually going into the headquarters of a distributor of this fictional drug, Weave. The colorist there, this is done by, well, the last thing I'll say about that image is it's colored by Dan Kemp. Dan Kemp colored Marvel Knights, Daredevil, Punisher. He also colored Amazing Spider-Man during the John Romita Jr. era, around the Civil War era. And he's also colored over 100 issues of Spawn, basically 50 to 150.
Nice.
So
Cool.
I really like all of the talent that I've got affiliated to this. If we go to the next one, that's drawn.
The colors are very vibrant on this. I really enjoy
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
You just tell me when you want to move on to the next cover, okay?
All right, sure. This one here, this is drawn by Jay Sloan. This is Chazgo, the blue-skinned elf. This is the first time in this story you get to meet his pet here, Emmix, which is a 3-eyed albino raven. And I wanted to have something that showed Emmix in it. And this is colored by Dave Kemp. This is Dan's brother. I was very impressed with the little amount of color options I gave him, but he made it really work. And it's just a beautiful piece. I really enjoy it. I have the original, the inks for it in my other room. I should have brought it out to show it off, but just beautiful piece. I'm very happy to have it in my possession.
It looks great. Kyron said this is Ray's show now. What he says goes. There's a
There's-
reason they call him DM Ray.
Roll for initiative. That's great. Yeah, let's go to the next one.
Alrighty.
So this here is drawn by Russ Leach out in the UK. If you want to check out, he's got one. He just finished his campaign for issue 2 of the Atlantean, which is essentially Cull, which is one of the stories that helped inspire barbarian stories like Conan.
Cool.
He drew this little half dwarf, half gnome named Dunan Eni. He has a telescope which he's rigged to blast raw magic out of it. So one of the coolest things between the two different artists, Dave Kemp and Russ Leach drawing, is when Russ drew it, the eye is drawn towards Dunan in the middle, but the overall coloring added to that because Dan made the colors he downplayed the colors on the Horde and just amplifies Dunan's action in the middle. That cannon, that telescope rather, over his shoulder, it draws so much attention. Most people don't realize that his free hand with the hammer is actually removing a jaw off of a zombie, if you look closely there.
Nice.
The longer you look at this image, the more is revealed. It's actually a really nice one to just sit there and take in.
It is jaw dropping.
Yes.
There you go. I love it. I haven't heard that one yet. That's good. I'm adding that
Is
to
this-
my levels.
The same zombie that got his jaw ripped off is the one that has also gotten his arm blasted off? Is that the same guy?
I don't know if that's the same one. It definitely
in-
looks the
it
part.
is.
Looks like they share the
Yeah.
shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it
Yeah, it
looks,
could be.
That dude's messed up.
Inconclusive, but it sure does seem like that guy got the brunt of it in
Yeah.
this cover.
Yeah. But yeah, Russ and Dave did a great teamwork. All of the covers, they all look terrific. If you go on to the next one, this is drawn by Rod Ramos Rodolfo from Brazil, colored by Dan Kemp, of course. This is another thing you get to see in the issue where Madrakis is actually, he's an amateur mage at best, but here you get to see him actually pull some earth upward. He's not even touching the ground with his hands. And again, the combination of the color and the line work, it's just a beautiful piece. You were mentioning Lori Calcaterra on the green screen. I believe Lori purchased this one. Lori really likes the like brutality looking ones, so this one looks very like presence and commanding. In the last issue, she took the issue of Sarlacc holding the head of a beheaded monster while he's holding his lovely golden axe in the other hand. And then the final cover, this is drawn by Jenna Stark, and this is colored by Dave Kemp. This one's a bit more abstract, and just like the other covers, Sarlacc here, full-blooded dwarf, he actually finds a book that is a critical piece of information in the story. And Sarlacc does have some devotion to something known as the divine. So this flavor of a stained glass depiction made a lot of sense to me. Ironically, Sarlacc would never appreciate such intimate glorification of himself, but I thought it was very, very nice. Now, what's so special about this image here, this is a limited edition cover. It's going to be metal foil. So that's to really add to that stained glass effect. I think that's going to be beautiful when it's done.
Sick.
Oh, this
I'm
is
really
already
looking
my
forward to
favorite
that.
cover, and now I'm like,
Yeah, same.
Oh.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It is
I'd have
nothing
to-
short.
See,
of,
you know, now we're back on to selling body parts to buy comics. Shit. That's 10
Yes.
minutes. We can say shit now.
But yeah, the covers speak for themselves. I'm not a fan, like there's lots of people, they'll do like dozens of covers for an issue, and I'm not against that. I mean, all the power to the people. They're very successful when they do all these different covers. If I did any variant covers, I wanted them to have some type of relationship to the story. Well, that looks cool. I hope I see that when I read it.
Yes.
I wanted to go back to the old, you go to like 60s and 70s comic books, it'll actually have a depiction of something, and it'll say, I always use the example, why is Spider-Man helping Doc Ock rob this bank? Open the cover and find out. And mine isn't so blatant like that, but again, I wanted the images to be alluring, like I want to see why that's where that happens in the story. But yeah, my Kickstarter has a bunch of different add-ons and tiers to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna
I should give
y'all. I put a link for this campaign in the comments. If you can't find it, just all you have to do is go to Kickstarter.com and type in Madcaps, and it'll be the first one. But
Madcaps,
otherwise,
one
like,
word.
if you really can't find it, then just private message me and I'll send you the link. I got it. But we're not going to spend a ton of time on every single image here is my point. You can go look at it at your own leisure.
Right
But
on. The
it's all
the
really
last
good.
shout out I'll give to the art is my interior artist. This is Victor Medina. This guy, I'm really happy I found him. This is his first time I've worked with him. Between him and Dan Kemp coloring, there's a picture of Chazgo there. He's spying on a compound. He's actually looking through the eyes of his pet, that three-eyed raven, MX, and
Nice.
getting a little bit of a survey of the compound, which is really, really cool.
This is from the new issue.
Yes, this is the upcoming one.
Yeah,
number 2.
I have looked at, I've seen and read through issue 1, and I was like, I don't remember this.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, issue 2, you can get issue 1, of course, and I mean, I won't talk about every tier and every add-on, but amongst them, you can get issue 1 and 2, both digital and physical. You can also get your hands on sketch covers. There's also the Chazgo image, that one there with his bird MX. A lot of people wanted that one to be metal foil as well, but I didn't want to take attention off of the stained glass one, so I have a compromise that you can buy just the image. Doesn't even have the Madcaps logo on it. You can get a metal foil poster of it. It's comic print size.
Yeah, I mean,
That's an
it's-
option in here. It's beautiful.
It's pretty cool. I mean,
Yes.
that one would look really cool in foil too.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
dang.
And then also,
Yeah.
of course, there's the physicals, there's the digitals. We have different posters. We have T-shirts of different comic art. And stop right there. That was the segue I wanted to tell you about. So this fella voiced one of the voices in my trailer. This is Michael Towson. He's a professional dungeon master. And if you buy into this tier, you can play D&D with him and myself. I'll be one of the players. So Sarah, if you're interested, this guy is the greatest for first impressions of D&D.
Oh, nice.
He will carry you enough that you can do the rest by yourself. He knows exactly where to pull the slack and where to give you liberties. He's an excellent DM.
Awesome. You know, $35 seems kind of like a steal for that too.
Well, here's the thing. I actually lose money on this. The proceeds, like I said, this guy's a professional dungeon master, so I actually lose $1 for every person that buys in. I just do it because I like D&D and I wanted to promote this guy, and I'm not profiting off it. So if anybody sees that and looking at the price, where did you come for this number? Why is it this price as opposed to lower or higher? It's strictly to support this guy. You'll get more than your money's worth, that's for sure. But
very cool.
You can get the covers in bulk if you can't pick on one. You can also get a lot of the covers from issue 1 and 2. There's a lot of them that look like tapestries. So we're actually in one of the add-on options. You can get a plush tapestry, we're calling it. It's actually just a plush blanket, but it would look really cool hanging on your wall.
Down here, a picture.
There's exactly. And or look at, I mean, I live up in Winnipeg. There's the poster as advertised. I was telling you before.
You know, this is just I don't know how to feel about this. Like, I don't have any damn money, man. But I want. There's like I've already like mentally backed like $50 worth of stuff here.
Well, this is you know what, I really like the way you've worded this. This is the way I anybody listening, because I mean everybody in one, either now or in the past or in the future, at some point in your life, money is tight. This is the best way I like to put it down. If you really like this, there are people, see, that's a $20 metal foil poster. There are people that daily spend more than that going to McDonald's. So when you put it in perspective, you could like take a step back from the fast food for a day, and you'll have this forever. And you have an apple and some oatmeal for one day. It's definitely worth the minor sacrifice. I mean, you're not going to remember
really a sacrifice anyway, because I swear to God, every single one of those meals takes 15 minutes off your life. You shouldn't eat McDonald's.
Well, this as well. So I mean, everything in moderation, right? But if anybody that goes to a Starbucks every day, well, that's. I mean, what do drinks cost
10,
nowadays?
$15. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been to Starbucks in a long time, but I'm guessing you can't go in there and spend less than $10 unless you're buying like a cookie.
So what I would propose, if your wallet's crying and you're looking at some of this and you don't know, well, what I'll tell you is, if you could look in your cupboard and plan out your meal for 2 days and avoid Starbucks or whatever your vice is, and you can make this purchase 5 years from now, you're not going to remember missing Starbucks for 2 days, but you will have this media in your hands for sure.
Very true.
So that is just a thought. Obviously, everybody's different, but the last thing I'll say, we've got bookmarks, of course, and also another cool thing D&D related. We have character sheets, one of each character, based off of their 5th level characters, based loosely off of 5th edition D&D, completely compatible. The t-shirts I already mentioned, and I got all the ones that looked more like traditional comic book, like energy, the way they present themselves. The t-shirts, you could pick the size, pick the color, have your print printed on accordingly. Those 4 images underneath, those are the options for the plush blankets. People like myself here up in Winterpeg, we definitely love our blankets. So look good on your wall.
You're talking to two. Well, I guess we don't live in our respective home states anymore, but Wisconsin and Minnesota here. So
yeah. Well, that's
we know cold.
You're friends.
That's why I left. No, I'm not.
I didn't go far.
Ex-frenemies.
One of the options further up, you don't have to scroll to it. It's called the Fireside tier, where you get to pick one blanket and one of the covers that's non-metal foil. which is like being in a fire with a good book. Now, we have unlocked our first stretch goal. The first stretch goal is a humble one. It's just a die-cut corner sticker, which will look really cool on a book or a laptop. It just has, it's taken from the main cover of this second issue. We've got some cool stuff coming out. If you scroll down a little bit more, you can see there's a bunch of question marks. The only thing we're revealing is if we hit 4,500, we'll reveal it in issue 2, a black and white cover of issue number 3 at the back. So you have a taste of what's happening for that final issue. All 3 of these issues, it's like bump, set, and spike, as they say in volleyball. Issue 3 spikes, and it spikes hard, but it's not worth it unless you read issue 1 and 2 as well. Issue 2 is just a lot of fun. It's got a lot of things going on. It's got a horse chase. It's got like a bunch of sneaking and stealth. It's got, I mean, one of the main characters has to disguise himself as a woman at one point in order to like pull something off. It's got a little bit of a heist vibe, and yeah, there's so much going on, like so much. It's ridiculous. And then of course underneath we have the team. So there's Victor Medina. He did the interiors. Yeah. Dan Kemp underneath there. He did all the coloring. And then Micah Myers is doing all of the lettering. And then, of course, my publisher, Philip Russert of Philbo Publishing. Shout out to him. He has...
Wait, whoa. Micah left... He left technical college after 3 semesters? That means he only had 1 left. Why would you do that? Come on, Micah.
Well, you know what? There are times, there's many times where people, they don't know if they don't like something until they go through it a little bit. So I don't know his story there, but
I have an associate's degree in graphic design, and it did fucking nothing for me. So I'm just more of like, why would you get that close to completing your thing and not finish it? I don't know. I have like some kind of weird, as yet unnamed disease where I will go absolutely goddamn crazy if I have to. If I know
I know what that disease is. It's called CDO. You know what that stands for? It's OCD alphabetized. It's the really, really like pristine OCD. But yeah, overall, we're doing very well. Either 1 or 2 backers will put us into triple funding. This is day 7 of our campaign, and we have we're within striking distance of almost surpassing the progress we did for issue 1's campaign. So I'm very flattered that people have come back and backed it again. I'm very, very satisfied with the momentum. I've had a lot of learning curves. This is my first time on the creative side of a comic book, and I'm getting some good reviews on how the story's been playing out, and I'm flattered. Everybody's been loving the talent, as already pointed out, and it's just been a really, really good time. So one thing I know we're going to be talking at the end, and I'll talk more about the synopsis at the end, so stay tuned for that. But all in all, that is what our Kickstarter is currently looking like. And yeah, stay afterwards. I'll talk about the story at the end.
Awesome. All right, let's get out of there. And so, okay, now let's talk about Secret Level. So opening thoughts. What are our opening thoughts on Secret Level? It's like I said, it's 15 self-contained stories, so opening thoughts is going to be a little chaotic here. But overall, what do we feel? How do we feel about this series, about this season? Because there is another season happening now.
I have a conspiracy theory.
Uh-oh.
Okay. We'll go really hard right off the start. My theory is with the success of the last Super Mario movie, and there's talks about like Legend of Zelda and Super Metroid eventually getting their own movies. And you could even see in the Super Mario movie, they weren't just testing the Mario lore. The way that they brought in Donkey Kong and set it up like a Super Smash Brothers fight, they're obviously testing the waters. I think Secret Level, again, tinfoil hat theory, I think Secret Level was like, what do you think of these stories? And whichever one gets the most feedback, they're considering heavily for a movie.
Sure. Yeah. I just did read this morning that Minecraft smashed Mario's opening
Really?
weekend. Yeah, opening weekend record. Just destroyed it apparently. I didn't see what Mario's opening weekend was to compare, but yeah, like that. Minecraft did incredibly well over the weekend, which after all the shit I've been hearing about how bad the casting was and how everything sucked, you know, it's like, then if everything sucked, then why did it do $100 billion in the weekend, the opening weekend? You know, like,
Well,
It was entirely populated by wannabe influencers going there to blam it, and then they accidentally
Yeah,
gave billions of dollars.
oh no, I like it. Shit.
even if the movie was completely terrible, the franchise is so strong because of that game. Everybody loves that game. You play it, it's a high
It's a good
addictive
game.
rate.
I mean, I've not played it in a long time, but it's very soothing, and you can set it
Yes.
so that you never die. Like
It's a great
a nice
time.
game. Yeah, and you
Mhm.
don't have to. You
So-
I'm
don't
not a
have to-
gamer, and I enjoy Minecraft.
Like
yeah, you
I
don't
want
have
to I
do
want to
anything.
like go and
It's nice.
watch, like I want to see a creeper and I want to see a skeleton shoot arrows at people. Yeah, I want to see that in a movie. So on that alone, I don't even know the story. I'm in. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't even know if it's a good movie or not, but I know I will enjoy it just because it's Minecraft.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, I'm probably gonna wait till it comes out on home media, but absolutely gonna watch it. I mean, I do like Jack Black. Everybody's getting to the point where they're turning on Jack Black, but you know, because he's in everything. And I was like, I don't care if everybody's turning on Chris Pratt. Like I don't know. I thought he was overrated from when he was really good in Parks and Rec, and everything after that is just like you're just playing Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, or Chris Pratt as insert character here. It's not really a new character. He doesn't have a lot of range as an actor, is my point. But Jack Black is kind of the same way, and yet somehow I still love him. Maybe it's because he's a chubby guy, and I'm just like, there aren't enough fat A-listers out there. And we just need some more chubby A-listers. And where are the chubby A-list women? Come on. Anyway, that's a rant we can have a different time. So since these are 15 self-contained stories in Secret Level, which one was your favorite?
So my favorite, I'm not a huge Warhammer fan, but I loved that video. Of course, the very first one was
yes.
D&D. Of course, I enjoyed that. There's little subtle things I definitely absorbed a lot. And a lot of these episodes, when the episode was made, you could tell the people that wrote it, they either knew the content at least somewhat well, or they had a lot of reference from a lot of knowledgeable individuals that knew the content well. Little things like in the D&D episode, the dwarf who is a monk, at one point there's an arrow shot at him, he catches it and throws it back. You could do
That
that.
was sick.
You could do that in
That's
D&D. It's called
fight
deflect
choreography.
missiles.
In that
Yeah.
whole the D&D, the entire D&D episode, the fight choreography, I was like, Jeff has this thing, my boyfriend has this thing about how. So I originally learned about it when I introduced him to Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he was like pissed off because he's so into Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon and all those. They have fight scenes, but he's like, the choreography is never that great. And I was like, that's fair. And then he was mad because the choreography in Avatar: The Last Airbender was really good comparatively. And ever since now, when I see really good animated choreography, I'm like, oh, Jeff, you're gonna hate this one. And so I says he's gotta watch episode 1. We watched some of them together, but we did not watch all of them together. And I did jump around because I learned pretty quickly, and I watched the first one by myself, and I was like, oh, I don't have to watch these in order if I don't want to. So that was cool.
Right.
Not at all.
Another one
so-
I liked was Mega Man. I think that's long overdue for a movie. It was
I would love a Mega Man movie.
It
and that
was
like,
animated.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch
I
the
was-
cartoon?
I knew it existed, but I don't think I've ever seen
That was
it.
like 80s, wasn't it? Like mid 80s, late 80s.
Early 90s, but in that
Okay.
range. But
Yeah.
parts of it didn't age that well. But one thing that was really, really cool was
1984.
94, so
Oh.
early mid 90s.
That was
But
all.
Mega Man was like, I think that's just like how Super Mario did well, and a couple of these you hear rumblings of specific Nintendo iconic characters having a chance at their own film. Personally, I'd love to see Super Metroid, or Metroid, I should say. I loved the game Super Metroid, but Samus, a bounty hunter, it's basically Boba Fett, but in my opinion, cooler. But Mega Man, I thought that was an interesting take. I personally would have went a little different with it, but I was like, man, I'm happy to just watch Mega Man be Mega Man in a 3D.
It had some
animated
real big
feature.
like Astro Boy vibes.
Yes, yeah, very much
Yeah.
so. That's a good point. I would have never considered that.
But
Yeah, I love that.
that was good. I wish it had been longer. 'Cause,
Yes.
like the Mega Man, I was like, oh, sick! I want to see this, and it felt like, okay, you've watched the opening sequence to a game. Now get ready to play the game. And I was like, this was supposed to be a short story. Like this felt like an intro.
Yeah, the intro to a
that's
short
what-
story.
Yeah, that you said that before, and it does. Like they could animate the rest of that story, whatever comes after that, and just slap that on the beginning.
I'd have made
Like,
popcorn.
you've got the movie a third of the way done, or whatever, a quarter
Yes.
of the way done. You know, like that's. And I would watch it again happily, especially if we get to see the fights that happen after that and the the story that happens after that. Like yeah, the Mega
The
Man
evolution
was
of
really good.
the lab boy.
I also liked the circular utility type story that we got from the Pac-Man one. I was surprised.
Oh, this Pac-Man was my favorite.
Yeah, Pac-Man was my favorite. And how do you make Pac-Man that intense? Like, he's a fucking
Make it a
cartoon
horror
circle.
story.
He doesn't even have eyes. He's just a circle.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, this Pac-Man has eyes. but
It was like
Pac-Man,
alt art. Like
it was
they just were like,
beautiful.
hey,
Yeah, it was so
we've
good.
got
And it was
this
so
idea.
dark.
Oh yeah.
It was so dark. Like you just did, like who would have expected that from when it said Pac-Man at the beginning? Who would have expected how dark that was?
Right,
gonna
like
be?
the obvious ways. Like, we're just gonna make it about a rave, and you're running around eating pills, and they're like, no, let's make it this ethereal. One of the things I liked about Pac-Man is that they weren't trying to animate humans, humanoids, sure, but then you lose that uncanny valley effect that a lot of these had, very badly. And Pac-Man did do
Yeah.
that. They're like, yeah, nothing here is human. It's all monsters and shit. So it was easier to lose yourself and kind of feel the fear and the
Yeah.
betrayal.
Yeah, I noticed
Yes.
a lot of them had similar animation styles, and the few that didn't really stood out. The Sifu one
Yeah.
and
That
the
was-
Spelunky one were different. There was another one that was different too, but a lot of them had similar animation styles. And I was kind of, when I watched the D&D one and then I watched the Sifu one, and I was like, ooh, we're gonna have 15 different animation styles, or at least and then it ended up kind of not being that. So that was a little disappointing for me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I was kind of expecting Animatrix of like each studio has their own special
Yeah,
take
that would've
and
been
Their own
cool.
flair. That would have been neat, but that's okay. It wasn't. I mean, it was.
It was still good animation. It
Seemed to
just
be
was
the
a-
only thing that tied it together. Not that it needed to be, but that was
Yeah.
seemed to be the only thing in common with all the episodes.
Yeah, that's fair, and I get it. Like it would have been a pretty tough tall order for them, because I mean, from looking at the credits, it looked like a lot of them were made by the same people. A lot of them were animated by the same studio, so made sense. But also, it would have been cool if it would have been different. Like, it's not exactly a criticism, but like, it would have been cool if you would have done that. And the Spelunky one was like did the people who animated Arcane do
Yeah.
that one, because it looked
Definitely
it
had
totally
that
looked
vi-
like that, which I love that animation style. So and
Yeah, I
I
was
was
expecting to saw
very
that.
happy to see that. But I was a little surprised that we didn't see anything more cartoony. And the Mega Man one was also a different style from the majority of them.
Yes.
But I would have been fine to see like something that was like anime style. That would have been cool. But I don't know which one it would have been. But it would have been cool.
Yeah, the intent to make everything look semi-realistic. The reason I say semi is a lot of it looks cartoony. So how do you make that look real?
Right.
Like fantasy real, I guess is a good way to put it. It reminds me a lot of the first time I grabbed a PlayStation 2 and played it. Like, wow, it looks so real, even though it's not. It gives you that impression of realism, which I think they did a really good job delivering with.
Yeah. I would definitely agree to that. I mean,
and impressive for
Well,
smaller
looking at-
studios. Like,
for sure. Yeah, which one, like, animation style, which style was your favorite one? Which one did you enjoy watching just for the visuals the most?
Yeah, for me it was Warhammer.
Okay.
Warhammer.
Oh, that one was so, like, it was dark.
I usually don't like dark
thematically
and gritty,
chromatically.
but that one just the way it went, it just felt right to me just watching it.
Yeah,
Honor of
yeah.
Kings for me.
Oh, which one
The
was that one?
philosophical,
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
they're fighting for the cities. No, that
Okay,
was
yeah.
what was that called? I can't remember. That's where the king atheist or something.
The orphan and the king, and the art of the
The Living City.
All-knowing
Oh,
AI.
the Living
Yeah.
City, right?
The
right.
visuals on that just kept getting better. Like I
Yes.
wrote down, I was like, I got 2 pages of notes for this, and on that one I wrote,
Yes, Brian did say he
cool
took- this
visuals,
is
and then
the-
I
the
wrote,
most
comma,
notes
very
that he's
cool,
taken.
and then I wrote, comma, no, really, super cool. Like it was like, oh, the shitty city is shifting. Cool. Oh, he's approaching this gate. Dude walks out of sand. Fucking awesome. He's now in the ethereal realm. What? And this all makes sense. Like usually when they get so abstract, it just kind of falls apart and you're like, what the fuck is going on now? But they kept it together.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
they
one
did.
was a good one too.
Maybe that
because
one was my favorite. I don't know.
I'm still gonna go with Pac-Man, but that one was very good. And also,
I'm changing my answer.
They did not. I've got some experience with the game Go. The game that they played is Go. They called it YT, but that's
Yeah.
the Chinese name for it. And but it's called Go. We just call it Go here, and it's one of those games that it's really easy to learn, but very difficult to master. And I was watching it going, oh shit, they're like actually playing it. And I'm sitting here going, I haven't played that game in 6 years and I was never that good at it. So, but like it looked like a real game of it. And it made me want to consult one of my friends who does have years of experience, like been playing it their whole life, and be like, does this look real to you? Because that was one of the nerdy weird things that I zeroed in on that episode. But just to win or lose what is like omnipotence and possibly immortality from a freaking board game, that's, I mean, I don't want to compare that to Harry Potter. They weren't the ones that came up with it either. They're not the first ones to do it, but like it's just so, it's like that can really fuck with your brain, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of well, how do you put it? When you put something so trivial but the stakes are so heavy, it's a very
Exactly.
interesting. The first time I ever noticed something like that is when I was watching the original Sailor Moon, and Sailor Mercury, she has to play chess at a disadvantage. And every time she loses a piece, part of her body gets covered in ice. And then, of course, as the formula goes, she gets saved by Tuxedo Mask, and then Sailor Moon kills the monster in the end. But it's an interesting dynamic if delivered correctly, as it did in Secret Level here in that episode. It's a really cool thing to watch.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like, how would I approach this? And I thought, oh, well, my game is flip a coin, heads I win, tails you lose. Because statistically, somebody's going to beat the city, like probably within 3 or 4.
Yeah.
3 people went mad, somebody saved the city. They're all 4 of them are heroes. End of story. Statistics wins.
You ever watch
Not
the
as good of a
second?
story.
Do you ever watch the second Bill and Ted movie? Bill and Ted's
Seen 'em all.
Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
The one part where they have to challenge death, and they keep on beating death because they get to pick the games. It's like electric football, the board game, and then it's like, okay, best 2 out of 3. Okay, best 3 out of 5. Let me guess, best 4 out of 7. Death is like, damn straight. He's just all angry.
Nice. What was your favorite scene? Like what from your favorite episode? Which like little bit was your favorite? And then elaborate for me.
Well, the thing with Warhammer, I never played the tabletop game. I played one of the video games, and in that game, I liked how when you're these Marines, these space Marines with this like very powerful armor, and you've got these different like blades and guns, And in the first levels, you have to go through it. They're basically tutorials, right? Just to get you used to the game. And you like mow down like a lot of really easy. Pardon me. Got to get more naps
Boring
in.
you.
Not at all. But
Sleep. Never
you
touch
just
this
like
stuff.
mow through these like really easy characters, and then you start getting the challenges. And in Warhammer, that definitely happens. So the visuals of them just like going through all this like gritty, brutal kills over these very weak individuals trying to kill them. That was a really cool thing for me to see, because I played very similar to that throughout my gaming experience.
I learned after I was doing a little research after I finished watching all the episodes, and found out that one of my favorite actors actually did a voice in there, and I never would have guessed. They actually had a surprising number of very prominent actors in there, but the one that I'm referring to is actually Mark Sheppard, who is he's a British dude, and he is most famous probably for playing Crowley in Supernatural. And y'all are never gonna hear me shut up about Supernatural. Somebody needs to come on this damn show and do an episode of Supernatural with me.
Oh,
and I
that's
won't
easy.
shut
Have
up.
you? How about do you know Carissa Grant?
Doesn't sound familiar, but maybe.
Okay, well, she's got a comic book for you, and both you can talk about Supernatural till you're blue in the face. I'll put money down.
Yeah. I will send him a message.
You got to look up her book as well. Worthy Chaos,
Sure.
it's called.
Oh, Carissa. I thought you said Chris. Carissa, yeah.
Carissa Grant,
oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Pardon
yeah.
my Canadian accent.
It's all good. I got you now. Carissa, yeah. Carissa's the plushie queen. Like,
Yes, Queen of
she's-
Merch.
Yeah, she's been on the show before.
Oh, awesome.
And we have talked about, but never have done the show on Supernatural, and I don't know why. Why haven't we done that? I don't actually remember what show we did the last time she was on, but it was a Western, I think, because she was plugging her new Western series. But yeah, oh my gosh, she does like Supernatural, now that I'm thinking about it. And Lori probably would also. Lori Calcaterra would probably
Yeah, I
also be down to do a little Supernatural, and I just it's on my list of ones that I need to do, but somehow I haven't done it yet.
I think you need to talk with your producer.
I do.
Who is you?
So least favorite episode. I know.
Wait,
exactly
wait, Sarah, what was your favorite scene?
Oh, my favorite scene from my favorite one is my favorite one's the Pac-Man one, and my favorite scene was right at the end there, where Puck just slams its head against the brick wall, saying that it's I can't remember what exactly, but like saying that the repetition was good, doing it all over again was good, actually.
Oh, that was bleak.
Oh, yes, and it's just the cycle of it all. But it was so, like, if you think about how the game of Pac-Man, it's such a simple game, but like this very complicated dark ass story is Pac-Man. It totally is Pac-Man. You just have to think about it. You have to do that. If you've done a college level philosophy class and had that, you know, where the teacher, if it's a good teacher, they'll get you to that point where you're about ready to rip your hair out and say, like, you know, it's just like, what does anything mean anymore? If this doesn't mean what I think it means, what does anything mean? And
This is why I went
that
for a
one-
Bachelor of Science.
That's where I went wrong. Shit. I should have gone for science instead of art. Damn it. Yeah. So that, like, you don't have to put a lot of effort into get you on the surface. They seem like totally different stories, but no, that is totally Pac-Man. It's just dark and more colorful than Pac-Man. Like the story's theme is dark. The colors are not dark. It's actually very vibrant. In that whole, I think that whole show is vibrant. But yeah, my favorite scene is definitely right at the end there. And Puck, I can't decide if Puck is a good guy or a bad guy. I don't think that Puck is. I don't think either. I think Puck is just trying to win. So, and yeah, it kind of makes you think a little harder about Pac-Man and just going around in a circle, eating the dots, and then doing it all over again.
There's a reason they use a black background. It's dark.
Yes. So, least favorite episode now.
Easy. New World.
Is that
Arnold,
one that I
the
think
Arnold
it was?
Schwarzenegger one.
Yeah,
Oh, you didn't like
yep,
that one?
Mine too.
Yet Alistair lives.
I didn't not like it, but it was my least favorite. I still thought it was good, but it was my least favorite. So.
One I didn't really care too much for was episode 9. It was called The Outer Worlds, the company we keep, about the mechanic that works for that big corporation to reunite with his loved one, and he keeps on like sacrificing limbs for robot parts and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was kind of. That was.
I was
kind of
indifferent with that one.
Yeah, I wish they'd have gone sillier with that. Like they had the whimsical, like, hey, it's kind of like Futurama with Mon and stuff, and the character designs, their heads were a little too big. They should have gone fucking silly because it was brutal. It was malicious. Yeah. But if it had been even more whimsical, I think it would have landed better for me.
The contrast between the story and the art would have been way cooler if they had,
Has anyone seen previews for Mickey 17? Robert Pattinson's
yes! Oh my god, I want to see that so bad.
Right?
Yes.
That looks good.
We need to do an episode on that one. Put it on the list.
Put it on the list.
Yeah, I do like to give us a good buffer of time so that I'm not spoiling anything unless we do like a really big show. But yeah, like I definitely want to see Mickey 17, yes. And that one I very briefly flashed in and right back out of my head as I was watching that one. I was like, oh, this is that thing that would, yeah. But that one was dark but like also I can't help but think that Amos guy fucking dumb, right? Like you're stupid. You haven't seen this person in years and years and years, and you expected them to be the exact same altruistic, want to help people person after being a part of this corporation for how many years? We don't even know how long it was since they'd seen each other. But you think that your friend would be exposed to that kind of soulless, capitalistic, greed and not change at all?
Foresight was not his strong suit.
Yeah, no. And he was just so obsessed with seeing her again that he did not care about losing all the limbs. I mean, what was that about?
It's a guy thing.
Acid on my arm and I'm done.
It's a guy thing. Oh, it is. If I know a lot of men that you have your eye on somebody, especially if it's a first love. I think that's the way they were trying to reflect it.
Yeah, like Pretty Girl was nice to me. Well, there goes the rest of my life.
You used the words, Sarah, altruism, and obviously he had a very innocent level of love for that girl. It just didn't hit for me. I understood where they were going, but and again, it's not terrible. That would be at the bottom of the list. They're all great with that said.
Yeah, I definitely, I definitely think that one, it doesn't make my top 5 for sure, and I think that was probably my third least favorite one. And the one, but I definitely didn't. I think that it was the addition of Arnold that made me dislike that episode.
Just can't take it seriously.
It's just because his voice is like. His voice is a punchline, not him as a person, but his voice is kind of a punchline these days. And he's honestly not that great of a voice actor. He's not that great of an actor, period. But it was so, like, I feel like they could have cast that better, but at the same time, Arnold's name has quite a punch to it, so they maybe wouldn't have been able to. I don't know.
Are you trying to tell me he would have been better as an emotionless robot?
No, I wouldn't say that.
I am terminating this conversation.
But like he wasn't bad at it. He was just okay. Kind of that one would kind of threw me out of it. But also there's a lot of characters in several of these episodes that are just naive to a point of stupidity, like Amos and like like the king. What the hell was the king's name? Shit, I don't remember his name. But yeah, Arnold,
Aelstrom.
Aelstrom, thank you.
Aelstrom,
Yeah,
yes.
they were naive to a point of and cocky. Like, I mean, I don't think that Amos was cocky, but Aelstrom definitely cocky. But like the same kind of brand of naivete, and that they were just so convinced of this one thing was true. For Aelstrom being that he's the best, and for Amos being that his friend is the best, and that they just ignored all the other signs. And on one hand, I'm like, that's fucking stupid, right? But on the other hand, I was like, oh, that absolutely happens. Every single one of us has been that stupid at some point over a person, whether it be a romantic love or just a friend or whatever. We've all been that stupid and blind over a person before, so I think maybe that's why I didn't like that one. It's because I'm sitting there going, I'm watching that guy be a freaking self-important dick, and I'm like, well, that's because I don't like him, and that how his servant, he cast him away, and still the servant loved him, and I guess, like, I'm just like, why are you so dumb? Guy with one arm whom he mocked for having one arm? What are you doing? And like, just abandon him. You're on this island that has lots of way cooler people. You don't need him. And he stayed by him for too long. But that was, and that was a story that you could have seen be a feature length film, and yet they managed to do it quite well in the space of, 10 minutes. So that, kudos to them for that. Well, I mean, really, kudos to them for that on all of those episodes, but that one in particular, like, they douchified that king, and then they really played up the patheticness of the servant's reliance on the king really quickly and really quite well with the time that they had. But it's still my least favorite. And I just I also think that after having died and seemingly learned nothing so many times on that island, that he suddenly decided to take the thing that he was trying so hard for so long, that he wanted that crown so much, and then in the end he takes it and he uses it to make a mechanical arm for his servant. I just don't see him suddenly learning his lesson like that.
A redemption arc is hard to do well, and it
is.
doesn't happen quickly. If it happens quickly, it's never going to be good.
And I think
a
that's
recipe
probably
for bad disaster for such a short flick, for such a long, deep thought. Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah, so, and that's probably what made me dislike it. It's just the abruptness of his change. Like, he literally was letting that demon entity, whatever that thing was. I don't play. I think I've played 2 of these games, all of any of them. And I know a bunch about Warhammer, and I know some about Dungeons and
D&D.
D&D.
Say D&D. Thank you.
I know enough about it that I was able to have that knowledge, because you don't, for any of these, you don't need to know anything about the games to enjoy the shows, but it does help if you do. Like, you catch a little bit more than you would otherwise, and you understand a little bit more of the jokes and any of the dialogue, really. But I don't remember where I was going with that. That's the point. But yeah, so yeah, we're getting up, and we've got a 15 question quiz today instead of a 10 question quiz. So maybe we should jump into the quiz now, and then we'll, like, closing thoughts on Secret Level, and the second season thoughts on that, maybe, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Madcaps, and then we'll head out for the night. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, so let me pull up the quiz here quickly. I do have to pull up the quiz and then turn off the sound because it is obnoxiously, blaringly loud.
No, that's just me.
Well, I mean, also you.
Also me.
Okay. And Again, I don't know. I see there are a few people watching. I don't know if you all are gonna play,
You should.
but you should.
All viewers should
Absolutely
play.
Should play. If you play, if you win, if you get first place, you get a sticker. I'm gonna send you a sticker. If you the reason that I haven't been the last episode. I did not read the questions out loud because apparently that was messing with you because there's a lag here between the stream and the actual quiz. But anybody's welcome to play. Just grab your phone or your desktop browser and jump on in. You can play.lookit.com, type in that number or scan that code and it'll pop you right in. And everybody try and beat Brian because Brian definitely has the record on the most stickers won.
If there's more than 4 people in there, I'll just sit out. I'm just there as filler. But if I'm playing, I will fucking crush you.
But I am going to not read the questions again so that I don't mess up anybody. Look at your phone. Use the phone as your guide. Do not use my voice as your guide.
Damn right.
I just sent a message to Matt Knowles and it's like, come play the quiz. He was very apologetic. They had to change their plans because of some flight delays and they did a stream today when they weren't going to do it till tomorrow, and he felt really bad about jumping in or taking up, coinciding with our show because our show is every Monday night at this time, and he didn't want to get us he didn't want to step on our toes. But I was like, that's okay, shit happens. And so I just told him, now come play the quiz. We'll see if he comes.
While we're waiting, I want to send a little love to the Armored Core sequence of Keanu Reeves fighting in mechs against other mechs. Fucking rad. Like, that was some of the most entertaining mech fighting choreography I've ever seen. It was fast. They didn't drag out any fight. They kept the plot moving.
Yes.
They did so good with that. And voiced by Keanu Reeves. So
Yeah.
there's that.
And he was one of the ones that, obviously the moment you heard Arnold speak, you knew it was Arnold. But Keanu kind of got me for a second because it didn't sound like him at first. It just sounded like, some guy. And then I was like, wait a minute, is that? Yeah, that is Keanu.
That's Neo.
And he did quite well in that role. Like, he fit that role. Like, I think that Arnold could have done something else and fit the role better. But also, he
Grandiose,
didn't do
pompous
badly.
king? I don't know.
He didn't do badly as the king, but I don't know, maybe it's just that he's just not that great at voice acting. Maybe that's all it was. I don't know. There he is. Hi, John. Yeah, so I thought so. They had Keanu, and I know Mark Shepard's not somebody that is A-list, but he's A-list to me. We had Arnold, we had Kevin Hart was in there, and I never would have guessed it was Kevin Hart if I didn't know. There were some others too. Emily Swallow is one of the. She's not an A-lister, but she was in there. Kevin Hart's daughter was in the same one as Kevin Hart, and her name is Heaven, so she's Heaven Hart. And I was like, why would you do that to your child? The only reason he can get away with that is because he's famous. Who else was there? Top Hat Man. Nice. I gotta go grab the Wikipedia page and tell me who else was in this, because I know there was a bunch. Arnold. Let's see. There's a couple of people that I'm recognizing as up and coming stars, but there's that guy whose name I cannot pronounce, Adewale something, and he was in the Warhammer one, and he's played a lot of really good bad guys. He was Curse, I think, in the Marvel universe. Look, it works. It's okay.
That's fine. No, wait, he can't hear us.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, Emily Swallow was in there. Keanu, Aaron Yvette. Oh, Tamara Morrison. Boba Fett. Patrick Schwarzenegger was in there too.
Yep.
Uh-oh. I think Top Hat Matt might be getting messed up with is Blooket a problem for people? Are people struggling with Blooket? Because I might have to change back to Kahoot. I don't know.
Maybe that's why I win. It's not my skill, it's just a glitch.
I mean, Andrew got booted out last week halfway through the quiz, and he would probably beat you, to be fair.
Oh yeah.
So. Okay, well, let's get started. Let's hit start on this. And I'm not gonna read the questions. I will read the answers, but I will not read the questions. Do look at your phone or your browser window for the questions. Don't rely on me, because there's a lag. Or just
If you're hearing this, it's probably already started.
Yes, that is a fact. I have a feeling we're only gonna get 4. We're only gonna get 3 or 4 for every single one, because I have a feeling Matt is having issues, and that's why there's 2 of him. It was indeed the protagonist himself, and I had to look up some of them. Their names didn't actually get spoken at all, so I had to look up what their names were. So, I think he was one of them. Oh no, did Matt get booted on both of them? Wait, there it goes. Okay, I was like, Jesus! It was the entire episode. That was what Tiangong was watching. Oh, Matt got it wrong. I could just advance this.
I got this one wrong. I'd answered too fast.
In episode 7, both the Mercs and Global Risk say that they're the good guys. Right at the end, they make a point of saying it.
Yeah, I like how they said that throughout the entire episode. Like, we're not the bad guys. Hey, we're the good guys.
We're not the bad guys, or we are the good guys.
It's like, it's some commentary.
But who was the good guy? Whoa, he got in there right at the nick of time. Yeah, Cassidy released the map to make the map worthless. That was
sick.
That was
in their final words, like right before they fly into the storm, like, took the money and run. Like, what a pirate. Badass thing to say.
Such a pirate thing to say, yeah. And they wanted it to be ambiguous about whether they survived or not, but it wasn't. If anybody gets this wrong, then you did not watch the entire show that we just did.
Or read the Wikipedia. Or pause it during the episode, because it's on Prime, so you get the X-ray.
The answer is Lou Ferrigno.
You know, that would have been a good one to put in there, wouldn't it? I didn't think about it. Damn it. Damn it! Googling answers. That's not very sporty.
tough to Google these answers in 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I suppose it's possible.
Unless you could stop time like that sorcerer in the Warhammer 40k. That'd be a handy power.
Yep,
That was a
Solon
cool
was marked
power.
for sacrifice. That one was just everything about that episode was very good.
Yeah.
The dungeons. If you don't watch any of the other ones, I definitely recommend watching the Dungeons and Dragons one because anybody can enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I forgot.
I think I answered that one too quick.
Periods are on this one.
Yeah, when I first read it, I read what were the robots programmed to do, and I'm like, why do you build Destructo robots, Dr. Light?
I hit that too quick.
Ill-begotten sex robot ventures. Oh, Dr. Light, you'll be the death of us.
You would think that my brain would go to that and like put that in there as one of the possible answers, but I'm always so PG rated in these things.
Yeah. Next time I'll help you write the quiz. And then I won't take the quiz because that would be unsporting. But then I'll give the really, really bad answers. Although I wouldn't have come up with Lou Ferrigno, so props to that.
That was a good one. I should have had that one. I legit looked up like actors with notable voices so that I could get good ones, and still
I didn't notice, was
Although I
Alan
maintain
Tudyk on the list? Because
Mark
every
Hamill-
voice is actually Alan Tudyk.
This is
that's
true.
fair. It's awkward not reading the questions.
You could do a finger puppet show. There we go.
AI realizes that the pilots didn't want to hurt the pilot, but he learns nothing through his episode. Keanu learns nothing.
I liked the fighting robots, but like, it was not a morality tale.
Yeah, Keanu learns nothing. Are we done yet? This one's so long.
We're 2/3 of the way.
Oh my god. Why did I think 15 questions was a good idea? 82 times. And I only remember that for one specific reason that I'm not going to tell you.
Body count?
Well,
Shit.
that was.
You got me.
You need me to help you with questions, right?
There. All right, I was gonna keep hitting next because I know that 3 answers because Matt's in there twice. Yeah. Y'all got that one right. Everybody got that one right.
Because he knew no.
Except for Top Hat Matt. He didn't get it right.
Unlike Top Hat Matt 2, the sequel.
Electric Boogaloo. Stranger reveals himself to be O's friend Johnny. Although Kratos was totally in there.
Yo.
Is it Kratos or Kratos? I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
Atos, I believe. Kratos.
Okay, I thought I had it right, but I wasn't sure. Oh my god, we're still not done. It's a mistake. 10 questions forever.
I'm in.
Pick
Let's
the
do it.
top ones.
time dilation didn't make any sense to me. Like that one I could stand to go and rewatch just to try and figure out what was going on. I think maybe I just wasn't paying attention when they were explaining the time dilation.
Yeah, they right away they're like
Yeah.
moving fast. Once
And
we conquered light speed.
I was there was a space between waiting for the credits to stop and me paying attention to the beginning of the show. To be fair.
To be fair, I was
Amos
busy
lost
taking
his
notes.
limbs because he was a big dumb idiot, but
Big dumb
I didn't
idiot.
Put that is one of the answers.
Love struck fool.
Said that's a good cautionary tale that like you shouldn't let your feelings for somebody override all the red flags you're seeing.
Uh-oh, there's 2 right answers here.
What was that about coin tosses?
The robot, who was a miner.
That's fair. I guess I should have said the human miners.
Yay! That was fun.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I specifically requested somebody beat Brian, and nobody's done it yet.
Quiz monster.
Like last week, I offered 2 stickers to whoever could beat Brian. Like
All right,
maybe we just
Brian.
need to have like some kind of gauntlet where we play all the quizzes that we've done. Maybe like a quarterly thing. We just have an episode where we play all the quizzes, and then everybody who beats Brian
Gets to come to my house and like kick me in the leg.
Oh, well, that was fun. Brian will just throw another sticker on the top of the pile.
Woo.
Huzzah!
So, I have lost the quiz before. Like, it's not just like, oh, Brian.
You did win the
peeks
quiz,
in-
lose the quiz once. I did actually
And I
send
did-
out a sticker.
I don't go easy. Like, there is no like, oh, there you go, pull my punches. Like, if you beat me, it's because you beat me.
Yeah, no, to be fair, so I am. Matt says. Matt says
just
I'm
read
okay
that.
with being the sacrificial lamb, so that Jan didn't come and laugh.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate
See,
it.
now you can never be my DM because I beat you.
No, DM's the worst nightmare for a DM is a bard. You could be the bard. That would be
There you
that
go.
would be the crazy little play there. So, Sarah, are you okay to Brian? I don't think you're on Facebook. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Sarah,
If you
would
need
you
to get
be
hold of
able
me,
to
I can
pass?
get you my email.
Okay, or Sarah, if you could pass on the digital copy link I sent
betcha.
you, that would
Yes,
be
because
awesome.
that was actually the prize for this one. I probably should
There
have
you
said
go.
that at the beginning of the quiz. Is that the prize was to a copy of a PDF copy of Madcaps #1.
The show, Matt, is called Secret Level. It's all one off.
Oh,
Each
what?
episode is anywhere from like 5 to 15 minutes, and they'll take like the first episode is D&D. They've got Warhammer in there, Mega Man, and it's very well put together. It's very well animated. You look it up. I swear there's at least one episode for everybody to enjoy in that show.
Absolutely. But how the hell did you get so many questions right if you didn't even know what show we were talking about?
A fellow
What?
quiz monster.
What do you guys think? Do you think we should do a like play all the quizzes recap episode? Because that sounds like fun to me now that I'm thinking about it.
Now you should take one from each quiz and make a mega quiz from that.
Oh my god! Wait.
You'd have to
yes,
reword these because you'd be like, in Secret Levels, episode blah,
Yes, I would have
title
to do
da
that.
da da. A little more
I gotta see
explanation.
how
but-
many I've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that right? Did we miss? Because I think I did not do a quiz for Wicked. But did
I
we
think that's
not?
right.
Did we skip a week? I don't remember. Well, whatever. I'll go back through and organize that thought some other time. But let me. Oh, the door. Yeah, but that seems like it would be kind of fun. And so, I do want to tell everybody that does like the 3 people that regularly watch my show. I am switching starting in May. We are currently on at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we're gonna switch it to 9 p.m. Eastern time, so that people on the West Coast can actually jump in and they're not driving home from work, and so that I'm not doing the thing where I cook supper and then don't get to eat supper until after the show's over, and other things. And 9 o'clock's at that point where it's still not too late.
I'm just eating on the show.
I've done that before too, and it just kind of feels weird because I'm the host. I'm supposed to do a lot of talking on my show, so
Just casually
I have
eating an
stretches.
apple at the same time. Crunch, crunch,
it's
crunch.
fine. That's a power move,
We'll have
right?
a special ASMR episode.
Yeah, ASMR episode.
Cold
I
and
mean, that
delicious.
would probably be the most popular one too, wouldn't it? I'm gonna have to learn how to whisper first, though. I don't do that.
What's
very
that? You need to speak louder. I couldn't hear you.
well.
So like 3 weeks from now, we do A Quiet Place, but we're like, in my favorite scene from The Quiet Place.
It's
Not an honest
see,
suggestion. Do
I'd
not.
be the first one to die in The Quiet Place. I would. It's the first time you like step on my toe or you spill something on me, I'd be like, mother. Yeah.
We
I-
had with somebody
Okay,
in
you're
high
in my party, but you're gonna stand real far from me. Oh
We had somebody-
no, we're in danger. Water balloon at Sarah.
very, very loud in high school, so she was referred to as Foghorn.
Oh,
What a
That's-
cruel name.
that's a lot.
So
No.
Foghorn would not be good in A Quiet Place.
That's yeah. I mean, a good decoy, like you say, but. Okay. Let's talk one more second about
Mad
your
Cat.
book. What the shit is the name of
The
The
Madcaps.
Madcaps. God, my brains.
All good, all good.
All right, and I want y'all to go. There's a link in the comments there. Go click it, and look. And then, if you are so inclined, back it. It's a pretty good book. I read the first one. Pretty good book. Not gonna lie. So let's talk about
And I'm
that.
getting a
Let's
copy.
do a quick. Quick.
Yeah.
Let us know about it one more time. Quick recap.
Okay, so
So I don't
synopsis
feel
of the
lazy.
entire thing. This 3-issue miniseries is dedicated to every single human being who has at least one or a circle of friends that they don't get to see as much as they want to. And the real litmus test, if you fall under that category, when you do get to see a friend, and I've said this on other podcasts, your very inner child is refreshed. You walk away like, man, I'm glad I ran into my friend in that parking lot, or I'm glad I got to see them even for 15 minutes as I was passing through their city, or something to that effect. This book is an homage to that level of camaraderie. It's expressed in a medieval fantasy theme and told through the medium of a comic book. So again, the whole thing is 4 friends reuniting in their hometown. The reunion is interrupted by a local outbreak of the undead. That stopped in its tracks, and there's a little bit of a mystery, if you will. I've compared this to an adult version of Scooby-Doo minus the dog, and the entire night they are getting to the bottom of where does this drug have anything to do with this outbreak? That's the entire thing. The second issue, the middle one, is them sneaking around, trying not to get themselves killed. And at one point, they all have this discussion amongst themselves. Have we bitten off more than we can chew? We're not adventurers. We're not fighters. Should we just report this to the authorities and let them take care of it? And so they're really dancing on that knife's edge. Another cool thing that reflects on that is the first issue. At one point during that outbreak, 3 of them almost get killed, which is, and I've used this analogy before, it's the equivalent of Captain Kirk getting saved by a bunch of red shirts. It just doesn't feel right. And I really wanted to highlight the gravity of these individuals. They're not the mightiest in the realm. They've got some cool signatures to them, some decent, if you will, haymakers, but these are not seasoned veterans of adventuring. These are people that have some cool little dynamics of their own. And the real cool thing about this is, like I was mentioning, the camaraderie. If you've ever been in a scenario and your friends are around you, you're more likely to act a certain way. But if you've got like family with you, you're probably more inclined to make sure they're safe. And again, Sometimes when you have friends around you, that makes you act better. Sometimes you rub each other the wrong way. There are times when maybe their influence will make you do things that maybe you shouldn't have done in the first place. And this story is riddled with all of those dynamics. You do not need to know 60 years worth of lore going into this comic book. It is all original. The best compliments I've had so far is the characters are not just unique, but unique from each other. And they all have their chance to shine. And each one has an expression of who am I and where do I fit in this world, but they're all expressed very differently. And everybody most likely can relate to at least one of the 4 characters. So it's running all of April. I guarantee you that this is something that you'll have full satisfaction from, especially getting into the 3rd issue. But even in this one, there's lots of cool things going on, and just go on the Kickstarter, check it out. There's lots of cool add-ons. All of them I feel are not filler. They're all like good quality items that have some type of relevance. Like I mentioned, either a blanket or a t-shirt. They all have something that's really cool. It's something I wanted to promote, as opposed to hopefully you'll add this trinket on. No, it's all like good stuff. Not just a trinket or anything like that. But yeah, check it out.
Very cool. Yeah, and
I didn't feel called out by some of that at all. Wax out in front of their friends.
what are you saying?
Shut your lying mouth.
There's, yeah, no. Yeah, it was a little call out, wasn't it?
I think every human
makes
being
me so eager to read it. Not gonna lie.
I think every human being can relate to just the level of feeling like they belong or a longing for friends. And even if you are the greatest of introverts, there's a person you probably miss out there. And if you do feel that way, like you both, you're my entire like immediate audience. Also, there's people watching, but for you to just say that, I think it's a very, very common human thing. And another good litmus test, the whole design of this, I wanted it to feel like the world existed before the story, and I wanted to feel like it exists after, but you're just dropped in the middle of it. So you're obviously going to understand just the way they interact, who is who in regards to this circle. But on top of it, there's going to be really mild things you won't fully click with you. So like any type of mild inside joke, if you will. Or in this case, like at the very start of issue 1, 2 of the individuals entering the town Ivywood, one of them, it's inferred that he's got an issue with the city. When he tries to enter the town, the guards he asks for your name. And the larger fellow, Madrakis, he gives his name, and the guards are about to square off with them. And he says Ivywood's charges with me were dropped, and they decide to leave him alone. And there's a bunch of things riddled with that, where it actually feels like you're a fly on the wall in these people's lives for a night.
I love that.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
I
in
definitely
media res, when
would
it's
look
done well, it makes a world feel so much more complete, so much more fleshed out.
Yes, and this story,
Appreciate
it's based off of, thank you. It's based off of the first homebrew D&D campaign I ever ran. The only main difference is I took out the characters that the players were playing and I injected in my own characters that I made up. But there's literally over a decade of lore and history that I, as a dungeon master, have written out, and people have actually sculpted that history with me. So it's you can tell it's very well established in the surrounding. It isn't just 2 people in the middle of like a cave and nothing else exists. There's a lot of life going on at the same time.
Nice. Yeah, definitely everybody needs to go at least look at the campaign. And then after that, like, no obligation to buy, of course, but it'd be cool if you did.
Yep, we're just about to hit triple funding. We're trying really hard to get these stretch goals unlocked. There's a lot of cool ones, I guarantee you. But just go and check it out. Watch the trailer if you're coming into this podcast late. And at the end of the day, I can guarantee you, if you take a chance on me, if you're able to cut yourself off from 2 Starbucks drinks and back this, I bet you'll enjoy it. I'll put hands down. I wouldn't be biased at all, of course.
No.
All right. Well, with that, I guess we should probably eventually stop streaming. But next week, we're gonna have Ryan Robinson. Come on, I don't think he's gonna talk to us about any active campaigns, although he is probably gonna. We're gonna ask him some questions and be nosy about his professional artist life.
It's kind of our jam.
Yeah, that's what we do here. And we're gonna talk about Chernobyl, which is a freaking cool ass show, and yeah, Brian is over there trying to contain his boner because it's got a lot of science stuff in it, and it's super accurate to a lot of the science stuff. So we're pretty excited about that one. I loved it, and I actually fell down. I've fallen down the Chernobyl research rabbit hole a million times, but I needed to know, like, was this insider stuff as accurate and realistic as it seemed? And it turns out, yeah, a lot of it was very accurate. Even the parts that weren't accurate, they didn't really exaggerate it. They just, like, for the purposes of the, you know, keeping it to 8 episodes or whatever, like, they condensed a bunch of characters down into one and stuff like that. But all the information there, pretty freaking true to what actually happened. So
yeah, it's
if
pretty
you want to
crazy.
learn about Chernobyl, that's a great place to start. And like, was Jared Smith? Is that his name? The main character? Yeah, fantastic actor. So it's just actually bunch of fantastic actors in there. Definitely highly recommend. It is not a happy story though, so
No.
do not go into it expecting a happy ending.
Spoiler!
But absolutely watch it and then come back next week and talk to us about it.
And beat me in the
Talk with
quiz.
us about it. Yes. Oh my god, that quiz. Oh my god, I have to write a quiz for Chernobyl.
Don't have a meltdown, Sarah.
Oh,
I see what you did there. That was a glowing comment.
Oh, thank you. Your turn,
Well,
Sarah.
I'm leaving before we experience some fallout from this.
Ah!
Oh!
That was my
good.
best. I'm not great at it, but I try. Anyway, yeah, so we're doing that. Don't forget, we're in May. May 5th is going to be the first episode at the new time.
Cinco de
We're doing
Mayo.
the rest of this
Cinco
month.
de
We're
Mayo.
doing Chernobyl and Bridgerton and maybe Kung Fu Panda. It's still a question mark.
That's a
But,
great
like,
movie.
Let's do Kung Fu Panda, right?
I love
I
Kung
wanna do
Fu Panda.
We also got Thunderbolts and Jurassic Park on the list, on the schedule.
Supernatural. Supernatural should be somewhere on the
Supernatural
list, Sarah.
Better be.
Talk to your
yes,
producer.
I thought Supernatural was on the list, but I see that it is not. It is going to be in a second, though.
There we go.
Somehow that happened.
Someone had to remind you.
But yeah, there's a Supernatural quiz all ready to go, and I do not have to watch anything to catch up and be able to be ready for that show. So we're good. I can do Supernatural literally tomorrow, like later today even. But I do want to go have something to eat first. So, but anyway, thank you very much for coming, Ray. This was very fun. You
Thanks for being here, Ray.
definitely get in touch next time you have another campaign, or if you just
Sure.
watch
This
a
has been a
really
great
cool
time.
show that you
Episode
want
3.
to talk about, you can come back and we'll talk about it.
Right on. Yeah, no,
Any
this
of
was great. Really appreciate everything you guys have. I guess I'll just call it your hospitality. I really
That
appreciate
works.
that. You guys are great hosts.
And
I'll
hopefully
definitely be on again.
Yes, absolutely. That would be. You are more than welcome. Absolutely. And we get a lot of people watching our shows after the fact, so I am crossing all my parts that you get some backers from this.
I
At least get
appreciate.
some eyeballs on there, and all y'all. If you don't want to back or you can't, totally get it. But like, just share the link on your social media. That always helps too. It's free,
Absolutely.
and it helps. And if you see one of Ray's posts, like comment on it, like it, stuff like that. That helps, and it doesn't cost anything. So do that. And with that all being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.